Bam! What's up, my YouTube fam? Sorry if we got any background noise. I'm out here at the park close to the house. Had to bring the stepson up to a football game. Got me and the wife and the corgi out here, Oliver. I just wanted to do a quick little kind of an intro to sharpening. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've got a few longer videos that I've shot, but I haven't uploaded them yet. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do them in order. But I just figured for all the people that have been asking, I was just gonna do just a little quick one, man, and kind of show you my system and how I do things. I like using the products from DMT. This is the Sharp. These are the big plates, the big large, I think they're 8x3 plates. They're real heavy, got some weight to them. They're a great option. I've got four plates. I've actually got 5 because I've got another DMT fine that I use almost on everything, but it's burned up, man. So big, huge shout out to my boy Acuminous Edge. He hooked me up with these plates. And he wanted to see me do some sharpening, wanted me to put some content out there. He knows I'm a big sharpener, a big fan of it. And so he hooked me up with these plates because he knew mine were starting to get burned up. So he was like, hey man, I got a gift for you. Boom, they showed up at my house. I can't thank you enough, Mark. That was super freaking cool, man. So, but basically, guys, I've got a couple of different real super easy methods to sharpening. I do not go way in depth. I'm not one of those, 26 progression type, dudes who go to 0.00001 micron and all that crazy mess, dude. I use DMT, and for this video I'm using fine and extra fine, but for most of my videos I use DMT coarse plate, DMT fine, and then I go to a strop. Sometimes I'll go 3 micron and then 1 micron, but most of the time it's just 1 micron. So DMT coarse, DMT fine, 1 micron strop. That's the same thing that Steve uses. That's the same that a lot of guys use. And this is what I use a lot. If I just need to throw a quick edge on something, especially if it's a softer steel and it's not something that's going to take me a long time, then I'll hit it on. These are DMT diafold sharpeners. These things are super cheap. I want to say they're like $25 or $30. They fold open like that, man. They're great options for sharpening. They're plenty long enough. Let's see if I can get you in frame here. Check the gap, and they're plenty long enough. You can see this is a Spyderco Enduro. This is a big knife, and they're plenty long enough to get a nice, good flow on. They're just about, perfect size for almost any folding knife. And with diamonds, man, you don't have to freaking push down real hard. You ain't got to go crazy with it. Just a nice, even to like a light to medium pressure. And you'll start to notice the sound, and that's what I use most of the time on these plates. You can hear the sound, and you'll know if you're getting a good cut on it. But here, I'm gonna see if I can get you to hear this a little bit. Let's see. And this is kind of awkward. I'm having to hold it way up here to get it in frame, so it's not my normal hold, so it may be kind of imperfect, but these things are great, man. I love them. This knife's already got a pretty decent edge on it, but it just needs to be kind of touched up. So I did, before I started the video, kind of just roughed it up a little bit and just made it to where I could actually get some feedback and feel what I'm doing. But very great sharpening method. Also in the pocket today, I started the video with the BAM. It's my Spidey Chef I got back from the Neves with the blue Blades We Love screws. And then shout out to my boy John, KME user, carrying his Sabenza today. Absolutely in love with this knife. He's going to be definitely getting some offers from me on me trying to keep this thing, because I'm in love with it. It's got that Insingo blade, which, by the way, is one of the easiest blades to sharpen as far as the shape of it. And Chris Reeve does a real good job with their S35VN, so it makes it super pleasurable to sharpen that knife. But that's here's the strops. I've got one here that's just a homemade leather strop. Nothing big, dude. This is just some leather from the top of a set of boots, believe it or not, with some 1 micron and 3 micron diamond paste from let me see, I think I got that from Chef Knives to Go, and it comes in like a syringe type. You squeeze it, takes a size of a BB, and you take your credit card or license and spread it out, let it dry overnight, and it's a great thing to strop on. And stropping methods are very easy. This is the way that I do it. I go tip to heel, and I just lay the blade on there like that. You don't want to go super shallow, but you don't want to go super steep. I'm kind of halfway in between. I'm not laying right on my angle, and then I'm just going to kind of feed it through. Now, if you go obviously against the blade, you're going to cut your strop. You see markings where I've done that, but I just kind of feed it up to the heel, turn it over, feed it through. Up. See there, I gouged in there, down. It's kind of an awkward movement, holding it up here chest high, trying to do this, but you get the idea. And I've got 1 micron and 3 micron on here to do that. Also, a great option for stropping is basswood. These come from, where'd I get these? Hobby Lobby. My wife's chiming in, Bama Knife Wife. She's chiming in, helping me out because I forget things. But Hobby Lobby, man, I cannot get anything to focus out here with this horrible lighting. The sun's going down. But yeah, these are just little sticks. This is the thickness that they come, but they come about, 2 or 3 feet long. And I literally didn't even cut them. I literally scored them and then popped them. And I take and put the paste on there. Same thing, chef knives to go, 1 micron, 3 micron. And these are great. When I get my hair whittling edges that you guys see my videos on, this is what I'm using. Let me see if I can get this to focus at all. Come on, you piece of crap. Oh, almost. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, it's probably not going to. Sorry, guys. Anyway, when you see these hair whittling edges, what I do is I go just like I'm going to sharpen. Start on this end though, instead of coming in, we're going back, and I kick it to my angle. And the way to do that, guys, I'm gonna do this better on a video where it's a little more clear, is you can check that gap. You can rock it, just kind of rock it, drop it, rock it, drop it. And what you're doing is you're closing that gap. You're killing that black shadow there. So I'll get my knife sharpened to where I want it, usually stopping at 600 grit, which is a DMT fine. And I'm gonna rock that gap closed and then just kind of pull. And I'll do this like this, just make a pass, make a pass, make a pass all the way to the tip. And I'll come back, pass, 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 pass. Then I'll flip. I'm gonna check my gap. And if your gap's not perfect, it's not gonna matter. And then pull, 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 pull. Do the same thing. I'll usually go about 3 times until I'm at the tip, overlapping with each stroke so you're not missing any blade. And then make a couple more passes. And man, this stuff works. You wouldn't think that a piece of soft basswood from Hobby Lobby with a tube of $5 chef's knives to go, 1 micron paste would do anything. But I'm telling you, all the videos that you guys see on Instagram of me hair whittling with these crazy sharp knives is that exact progression. DMT coarse, DMT fine, 1 micron strop on either leather or basswood. I get the best results on the basswood. These cheap little thin strips of wood. It's super soft. You can snap it like a toothpick. But that's the key to it, is it's soft and it'll kind of conform to that blade. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to use. And then literally, like I said, this is cheap, just flimsy old leather off an old pair of boots. It's kind of hard for me to show you because it's glued down, but it's literally just an old piece of leather off the uppers of a pair of boots. And I've got some other leather that I use. I would not recommend getting leather from Hobby Lobby. They sell packs of leather, but it's super, fine grain, hard, crusty leather. It just doesn't work real good. If you want some good leather, go to Amazon. They've got a 2-pound bag of assorted veg tan leather. It's 2 pounds for like $9.99. Make sure you get the 2 pound of that veg tan for $10. That stuff is great. Mississippi Knife Nut uses it. He made some strops and sent it to Steve. Steve loves it. It's just really, really good stuff to use. I'll give you a quick little show on the plate here. Same thing. You're just kind of rocking and dropping to close that gap. You can't really see it here very good because of but that's all you're gonna do. Rock it and drop it, rock it until you see that gap close. And if you do that enough times when you're sharpening, guys, that'll teach you how to hold that angle. Seeing where you are, feeling where your hand and your wrist is, feeling how your shoulder is. All that stuff matters. That's repeatable results comes from being very, very consistent with your body posture. That's where you get that consistency from. The lights are going down out here, and there's a lot of ways to do this. My way is not the right way. It's just what works for me. I like sometimes with some knives, I make long passes, heel to toe, like this. Just like that, and you can hear it. And you can feel it. That's how I do it sometimes. Or with some knives, especially with like a Warncliffe blade, like this Michael May Custom right here, I'll rock and drop it, get my gap looking right, and then I'll walk it back and forth like this. You know, a little at a time, and I'll kind of walk my way out. And when you're walking your way out like that, you're getting that consistent edge all the way down. If you just stay in one spot, well, you don't have to worry about that as much with the DMT products because their margins are so tight. From corner to corner, you have a 0.02 micron difference, or a 0.02 millimeter difference, I believe is what they say. It's like two thousandths difference from, you know, height wise, thickness, you know, of any waves. From corner to corner, you can have I think it's 2 thousandths of a difference, which is something you won't even notice. They're super, super flat. So with the DMT plates, you can actually sit in one place, but I just kind of, for whatever reason, it feels better for me if I walk it out as I'm coming down the blade here. Same thing with this side. I'll just walk that baby out, and with a Warncliffe, you don't have to do that. It's nice and straight, and it makes it easy just to walk it up and down. But you can also make the passes like this, and I'll do that sometimes. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But it's all very simple, very easy stuff. There's no magic to it. There's no, oh, I'm the best sharpener in the world, or I'm this or I'm that. The only way that I learned how to freehand like this is by doing it. That's how I learned how to do it. There was no magic to it. There was no, oh, I'm just born with this ability to hold my hand the same way every time. None of that, man. I freaking sucked so bad at sharpening when I first started. I was so terrible at it. And the only way I got used to it was just by repetition, man. So a lot of sharpeners who are really good sharpeners will tell you that's not a good idea, what I'm about to say, to go and start with really cheap knives, because it doesn't teach you how to sharpen good steels. And sorry, I'm having to wipe the sweat off my face. It's so hot out here. But sharpening good steels and sharpening cheap steels is two totally different animals. Some people will say it's not. And to a certain extent, I agree, because the difference between me sharpening S30V and me putting a hair whittling edge on ZDP 189 or or Maximate, or, you know, anything like that, or a Rex 45, because I was able to put a hair whittling edge on Maximate after only a couple of months freehand sharpening. Steve has a copy of the video I sent him of me whittling hair with Maximate after only freehanding for a couple months. So I agree that it's no different in the sense that it only takes a little bit longer time. But once you get down into your super cheap, like Sheffield $2 knives that you find at Walmart in that little display case on top of the thing where you get the bullets from, I mean, there's like these $2 or $3 Ozark Trail knives. That's when you get into something that's different. Those steels suck. They do not sharpen well. It doesn't teach you how to properly remove a burr. I would say you're not into something good until you get to like VG10, CPM 154 CM. You know, still, I didn't mean to say CPM, but 154 CM, VG10, your S30Vs. That's when you're in a good spot. That's when you're learning how to properly form a burr, how to properly apex an edge, how to properly then work with that burr and clip that burr off. And then the same things apply on up into your super steels, like your Maximates and your Rex 121s and your S90Vs and your Crew Wares and M4s. It's all the same thing. It just takes a little bit more time. But when you're down in those cheaper steels, it doesn't really teach you proper burr formation and proper, you know, getting rid of the burr. It doesn't teach you that. But what it does teach you is it teaches you the body posture. It teaches you form, and it teaches you how to get consistent, repeatable results with your angles. So I would highly suggest people do what I did. Really, truly, man, this is honest to God, the way that I developed my posture, my stance, the way I hold my body, the way I developed all of that was literally going to Walmart and buying 3 of those little cheap $2 Sheffield knives and sitting in there and working on my DMT diafolds that Steve sent me, because he said I needed to get into freehand sharpening. So when Super Steel Steve and I first became buddies, he sent me a set of DMT diafold sharpeners, and I had one chewed up DMT fine plate that I was using, and that's what I did. Is I took those cheap knives and I sat in there and worked on it until I could develop an angle. And once you get that down, man, the battle is over, dude. Once you get your angle down, and you find out that you truly can with you don't have to have any skill. You can learn how to hold your angle and how to do it repeatable and go side to side and keep your bevel looking the same side to side. Once you realize you can do that, the battle is over. You win. That's it. After that, it's literally just doing it and doing it over and over again until you get good at that burr formation and learning how to work with the steel. But holding that angle is everything, and the key to that is body posture, finding a spot that's comfortable for you. I hold my plates the same way every time, and even going plate to plate when I get these heavy 8x3s. Steve was telling me about that the other day. He and I were talking about sometimes my away side, or no, my two side bevel was looking kind of crazy and kind of dog-earing at the end, and it's because I went to these heavier 8x3s, and so I'm holding my knife hand steady, but my plate hand is dipping because of the weight. So once you get all that stuff down and you figure out what works for you, man, the battle's over. After that, it's just doing it, repetition, and you'll learn real fast that you can sharpen just as good as Michael Christie. You can sharpen good as anybody, man. You can sharpen as good as any dude out there. You just have to put in the time and learn how to do it. I just started freehand sharpening a month before I shot that Maximate hair whittling video. I've been doing it for about a year now, and I'm pretty good at it now just because I do it a lot. It's not because I'm skilled. It's not because I have some special trait that other guys don't have, or because I've got some kind of weird, thing that I'm doing that I won't tell anybody. It's as easy as just putting in the time. A lot of guys don't want to put in the time, and that's fine, man. You don't have to. Not everybody loves knives for the sharpening aspect. I do. That's my thing, and I get it if some guys don't. So I'm not trying to force you to, all knife guys don't have to be sharpeners. You just don't. And if that's the case, hit me up, man. I offer sharpening services. I'll do a standard toothy edge. I'll just, knock the freaking roll off your knife if that's what you want and send it back to you, or I'll put a mirror polish on it, or I'll put a hair whittling edge on it if that's what you want. I offer all those services. I take really good care of your stuff. And you can ask anybody, man. Scott Big Bore Williams, KME User, Super Steel Steve, Acuminous Edge, any of these dudes, you can ask them about the way that I treat other people's stuff. The Neves over at Neves Knives. You can ask my buddy Corey Glasser, Bugsy Craftworks on Instagram. All these guys can attest to how I treat your stuff. So if you need some help, if you need me to sharpen up some knives, hit me up, hit me up in the comments here, hit me up on Instagram, shoot me a DM. It's Bama Knife Guy on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to do it for you. So it's not something that I'm super expensive on or anything. I'll give you a great price, and I'll get your knives sharpened up for you. But if that's not the case and you don't want somebody sharpening your knives for you, you want to learn, then freaking same thing goes, man. Hit me up on here or shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll work with you and I'll give you some tips. And shoot, dude, I'll hit you up and we'll do a freaking live stream, or I'll video chat you, whatever you want me to do, man. I love to help people out. I love the community, and any way that I can put into it, I'm down for. So that's it, guys and gals. Sorry for the poor lighting. I'm sorry, man. We're out here at the park, and I just decided all of a sudden I wanted to shoot a video. So I'll do a better one later on. I just wanted to give you a little tidbit of something, showing you guys that I am going to post up this video and show people how to sharpen, or show them how I do it. Not necessarily saying that's the right way, but that's it for now, guys and gals. I love you, and I am out.